Alright guys, so let's review the Omen franchise, and if you have not seen any of my other reviews, I have reviewed all 5 of the Omen films, the first 4 original ones, and then the Omen remake. And watching them all, rewatching them again, after it's been a while since I've watched all of them, it's an interesting rewatch because these movies are typically, I don't know, like, without spoiling the ranking, I do like the first 3 a lot, and then after that, the other 2 are just not good. So, you're going to see those are probably the last ones on the ranking, but this was an interesting franchise to rank, because this is one of those franchises that not a lot of people watch the sequels for. I mean, many people have, of course, seen the original one, but the sequels are kind of forgotten, and the remake is definitely forgotten. So let's get into the rankings. Number 5 would be Omen 4: The Awakening. Omen 4: The Awakening is incredibly and utterly pointless. Everybody hates this movie. I honestly don't hate it. I think that this movie is perfectly serviceable, but incredibly pointless. This is one of the most pointless sequels ever. It is a TV movie after the events of Omen 3, which this is going to have spoilers for all these movies. In Omen 3, at the end of the movie, Damien dies, good reigns over evil, and then in Omen 4, there's a reincarnation of Damien in terms of Delia, which is this girl who is now the daughter of the Antichrist. And it's like a reincarnation of Damien. So it's just there. It's a movie that exists. It's a movie that I'll give it a couple positives. I thought the girl was fine, Delia. I thought she was kind of creepy. I thought the acting was totally serviceable. I think this movie looks theatrical. It doesn't really look like a TV movie for the most part, except for in some instances, but really it felt like there were some moments that felt theatrical. So the acting's fine. It looks a little theatrical sometimes, and the little girl's kind of creepy. But besides that, this movie is the same movie as the first one again, with an unsuspecting group of parents who don't know that the kid is the Antichrist, or son of the Antichrist, daughter in this case, with Delia. And then by the end they realize it, except for, like, it's gender swapped. Like, the mom this time is the one who goes after the daughter. So there's really not much of a difference with this movie and the first one. It's just an utterly pointless movie. Not the worst thing ever, like people say, but I think it's not good. It's not a good movie. So my number 4 would be the Omen remake. This one, my biggest positive I can give this movie is I really enjoyed Mia Farrow. I thought that she was great as Mrs. Baylock. She was actually really, really awesome. She was great in any scene she was in. Everything else is just forgettable. This movie is the same, like Omen 4, this is the same movie as the original, but not as good. Where this one is just a boring, forgettable remake where, like, the gore is bad because it's CGI in a way that it doesn't look good. The practical effects in the original were great. The acting in the original was better, and the acting in this is from good actors who have nothing to work with, like Julia Stiles and Liev Schreiber and David Thewlis and Pete Postlewaite. And Mia Farrow's the only one who I really dug, but everybody else is just forgettable. The kid is kind of creepy, but the movie overall is just a boring shot-for-shot almost remake. Number 3 would be Damien Omen 2, where it is the sequel to the first one, and Damien is now a teenager in military school, learns of his heritage, and I dug this movie. I really do dig the first 3 movies. I like the fact that this one, Damien is this, he grows up into a teenager from the first movie, and he doesn't even know until halfway through the movie that he's the son of the Antichrist, or the son of the devil. He doesn't know. He literally is a nice kid, and I like the fact that you get that, and I like the fact that when he realizes that he's pissed and he's furious, and then he realizes, I'm going to take it in my own hands because this is my destiny. So I really like that a lot. And the gore was good, and I thought that these characters were good and likable, and I thought that they did a good job of doing a second movie in a trilogy, where, like, Damien in the first movie he's a kid, in this one he is a teenager, and in 3 he's an adult. So I really did like this one a lot. I thought this was really serviceable and really fun, and I really liked a lot of things about Omen 2. And number 2 would be Omen 3, The Final Conflict, or just called The Final Conflict whenever it was released. They had to put Omen 3 in front of it because a lot of people didn't really realize it was an Omen sequel. But this one, starring Sam Neill as Damien, is awesome. It's more boring than Omen 2. And I think, and even though I like the first 3 Omen movies, they're all in some ways not very interesting in some scenes for me. This one is the most boring out of the 3, but I really like Sam Neill a lot. I really like the fact that this movie ends with Damien dying and good reigns over evil. Like, that's really an ending that you don't expect. Even though Omen 4 fucked it up, you don't expect that in a horror movie like this. You don't expect good to reign over evil. Like, I just thought, because the first 2 Omen movies, they end in a bad, dire way, and in this one it doesn't, and I love that. I thought the ending was the reason why I put it over Omen 2. Even though Omen 2 is more interesting overall, I love the ending to Omen 3 more. And I really like Sam Neill. I thought that was great. And again, it's great elaborating on Damien as a kid, then a teenager, then an adult. And Sam Neill is really good in this, even though he can be hokey sometimes. But he really is serviceable and really a good actor in this movie. And I just like how he's so high up in the political chain that, like, he is trying to get all the power he can. I think that's very fascinating. So I did enjoy Omen 3 overall, and it was hard to choose between Omen 2 and 3 for my number 2 and number 3 spot. But this one I feel like I give it over because of the ending. The ending I really, really dug. Number 1 is obviously the Omen original movie. Like, there's not really much to debate. Like, even though I do like the first 3 movies a lot, the first 3 movies are a great trilogy. They really are. They really are a great, cool trilogy that people, if you haven't seen these at least Omen 2 or 3, like, people should see them. And hopefully you have if you're watching this, because I spoiled them. But I really do enjoy the first Omen movie a lot. I think that it is a good horror movie. It's not my favorite horror movie ever. Everybody says it's like, oh, one of the scariest, and it is scary and creepy, but it's not my favorite. It's not my favorite horror movie. But it is. I understand why people think that it is some people's favorite horror movies, because this is a great, well-made movie directed by Richard Donner, who at the time didn't do anything like this, and Gregory Peck, who was the lead in this, didn't do any horror either. So it's like these 2 people who were big and didn't do anything like this went into this type of movie and did a great job of it, and I do appreciate that. The kid who plays Damien is creepy. The acting is really good. The gore and effects are really good. Really like how practical they are. Like I said with the Omen remake, I hated that it was CG, and this one the practical effects are really, really great. This is just really overall a creepy, effective horror movie, and it is a good one, and I really do enjoy it. And that is my ranking on the Omen franchise, all 5 films. How would you rank the Omen franchise? Tell me down below. If you like this video, check my links down below. I've got my Facebook page, Horror Enthusiast 101, with all my friends. And I've got Patreon, Twitter, Letterboxd, and so tell me down below what you think of this ranking and how would you rank them. And thank you guys so much for watching.